Yeah, I'm running late. Let's try that. That's a little better. Ow. I am ouch. All discombobulated tonight. Totally discombobulated tonight. So, welcome to this overstuffed house. And right now it's very overstuffed. Just because I've been moving things around and clearing things out. And yeah. And it's just, I'm going insane this month. Oh, no, do that. Little froggies need to go back in there. I need to get that packed. It's been crazy with Scouts this week. Crazier than normal for Boy Scouts because I've been so hands-on this year because we just don't have enough ASMs at the moment. So it's been kind of bonkers. Absolute bonkers. And yeah. I just came down from upstairs because I came flying down the steps because I was like, oh no, I need to do this. I need to get online. And yeah. So I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope those that are in the South are doing okay and you're safe because I know there are some tornado watching going on tonight because of the weather, according to Ryan Hall, y'all. Hello, Val. Yeah, I never did get to make a thumbnail. I didn't realize I didn't even put lipstick on. I usually try to look nice for you guys. So, and Sherry, hi. Can't quite see right. Get a tissue here. Got dust or something stuck on this one lens, putting spots before my eyes. I did get to the optometrist, so I will have to see about getting new glasses. But that's a little ways away. Oh, you're listening to Ryan right now? Fair enough. Yeah, he come on, computer. I'm so spoiled by working on Michael's computer because his is so fast and mine is so slow compared to his. That is not. Can you let me into pictures? There we go. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. Just crazy. So, hello, Bonnie. I don't really have any good pictures for this, do I? I was gonna change the thing for my on the channel, the not the logo, but there's a header picture, and that's a picture from Christmas a while ago. But I'm looking and I'm going, I don't have a good picture. Huh. Well, there's a lot of pictures in here, stuff that's sitting on that shelf over there that I haven't gotten listed yet. Oh my. More than I thought. I've been doing so much stuff on Mike's computer. I haven't been at this one. Oh, I sneeze. I'm out of allergy meds. I'm out of everything. It's just a mess. Let's see. You know what? Let's put a baby Frodo on. Oh, nope, that won't work. That will not work. Cancel that one. Oh my goodness. I thought that one would work. Wonder if that one would work. Nope. Picture not big enough. Nora, I'm well. I was very sore over the weekend because I went to the surgeon, and all that pushing and prodding on that hernia was no fun. I did hear today, though. What image is that? I don't know what this is. Yeah, that won't work either. I did hear today, though, that they won't approve a CAT scan without me having a ultrasound first. And then I fell asleep with 3 kittens on top of me. So I didn't get to make that phone call yet. I will, though. Let's see. No, not Adam's family. There's got to be a picture in here I can use. I suppose I could use that one. Nope, not big enough. Jeez. You know, it's harder than you think to get a decent banner image. It really is. Because wonder if that one will work. Well, close enough. Close enough. That'll work. I thought that would be quick, but it wasn't. So it should now be roses that Mike gave me for, is it Mother's Day or my birthday one year? I think it was for Mother's Day. It's a couple years old, but it's roses. So let's get me in here so I can give myself a thumbs up, which does seem kind of cheating. And I can see the chat better because I don't have the new glasses yet. So, all right. Hello, Nancy Smith. Nancy, I had emailed you about something. I hadn't heard back yet. So you just let me know. And yeah, I mean, there's more storms tonight. We're going to see more rain, and I don't know when. I hope not on the weekend because I have kids that need to be at service time this weekend for an area creek cleanup. And if they don't have it, we got a problem because I don't have anything else that is going to knock out 3 hours of service time in one swoop, because that's something kids need to have or they can't advance. And I don't like telling kids they can't advance. Tonight, tomorrow, Friday. We're supposedly getting rain on Friday. When? Tomorrow. Show me tomorrow. I see lots of clouds. I don't see when tomorrow. Peak of sun and a shower, but they aren't telling me when. Just so Saturday's sunny and nice. That's all I'm worried about. Because that way I don't have to worry about anything with the scouts. We have creek cleanup, and it's actually like right in my own neighborhood because it's right at Chester Park, which isn't that far away. So it's only like, by the time you actually get down to the bridge, that's probably like 25, 30 blocks away, but that's okay. I've made arrangements. There's not that much parking, so my brother is going to drop me off, and then I'll see if I can't snag a ride home from one of the parents of the kids when they come pick their kid up. So, hello, Stacy May. Wow, Ryan is awesome. Ryan is awesome. He does so much good for those areas that get hit like that. Oh, no, 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 no more Scout. Please, no more Scout emails. No. I'm done for the night. There we go. Just in case I get an email from one of you guys, I have that up tonight. So, yay! CDC. Oh, CDC. Oh, at a thrift shop. That's so cool. That's good. Yeah, everywhere wants to do a background anymore. I just hand them my paperwork from Boy Scouts. Here you go. Already done. Oh, that's good news, CDC. I'm glad you got a job. Glad you found one, because it's not always easy when you're older. It's easier when you're a kid, because they feel they don't have to pay you as much, but so the heck was that noise? Was that outside or up there? Oh, it's probably down there because the furry kids are in the basement. So, hello, Lorianne. Lorianne had a book sale. I caught the tail end of it before I started, and she had some wonderful kids' books. I saw lots of bunnies going by. Did you do a speed round at the end, Lorianne, so that everybody can go back and check it out and see if they want to find anything they can buy? I need to behave. I need to behave. So, but I did get some news tonight about the roof. So Mike was up to something, okay? Because I wasn't finding anything. Because every grant said I'm too young. I don't know where he found it. But he and Gary, and it's a miracle Gary kept his mouth shut this long. Because Gary's not known for being able to keep secrets. Not at all. But he and Gary found one that can be done through Gary's name because he's disabled and lives in the house. And because I'm a relative, they found one somewhere, a grant, and it's been approved. So now I have to get at least 3 estimates, and then see about getting one of them approved. I didn't find out about it till about an hour ago. So I need to get the estimates and then talk to the person who oversees the grant and find out all the criteria and all that. So yeah. Yeah, because with all the way there's all these odd angles from the house being added onto in the 30s and third floor windows, it's not a standard roof. They like modern roofs that are literally like one side's this, one side's this. Done. No, ours is one side this, one side this, one side this. And then on the front, there's a whole other section that goes across the front, all the way across the front of the house and attaches to the front porch roof. And then there's that kitchen porch, which, so I have to get estimates on what it would be to do just the top where it's leaking so badly, the top and that front part, and then the top and the kitchen roof part. And what would it be if we didn't do the kitchen roof and they came back at some later date and did the kitchen? Because we know the tree broke my house. So we know that that's going to be major because the support beams underneath, 3 of them are snapped off at the edge. They're like this. You can see them. They're in the video. It broke my house. And the neighbor did not make good on that. He just got the limb off the house and took care of that, but did not fix the house. So, so hope we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm so happy. That is a chunk of stress off of my head. Now, one thing I do not know is if the grant also covers the permits. Sometimes the homeowner then has to pay for the permits with the city. So I may have to pay those. I'll find out all the details um, once I have the estimates and then can call them back. And actually, I'm going to call her tomorrow anyway, just so I can touch base with the person I need to go through about this grant and introduce myself and talk to her. So I don't know how, I don't know where. Apparently, it's some new thing that was in that massive infrastructure bill, which is why I couldn't find it because when I went looking, they hadn't passed that big infrastructure bill from what last was that the beginning of last year or the middle of last year that Congress finally got that passed that Biden wanted. So it's for home repairs for low income areas, and it's primarily based for cities because cities don't often get that kind of stuff. Especially the big cities might, but the smaller cities like Chester don't. So I don't. Mike apparently has been spending a lot of free time for months looking for something, and he found one. So I am so relieved. And that, but he said, you know, that money I have set aside, we're going to leave it there because there's bound to be something that's not covered, and it may be the permits and um, yeah. So I want to make sure that what is it? I don't know the actual name of what the infrastructure bill was. Mike found it through something through the uh, Department of Urban Development through the city of Chester. So if you have so it's something through, he said it's through HUD, which is Housing and Urban Development for the feds, that it's somehow through them. Now I'm a little leery of dealing with them because they tore apart one house in this block because they had gotten, the people moving in had gotten a HUD loan, and the HUD loan said that the house had to be in its original condition. So while it had a completely redone basement so that it had a rec room for the kids to play in, they tore all of that out, tore it all out, tore out all the windows and put in cheap, shitty ones, which those weren't original. They not what they put in. They didn't even put them in right because that's something the guy next door who's rehabbing the house now has had to work with and fixed. But uh, they just, yeah, I can't imagine why you would tear out a rec room of a house on somebody. So oh, I know, I am so thankful. I mean, it just, it's funny. I mean, like this, I mean, I've only known for about, what time is it? 10:22. I've only known for about an hour now because Mike got in the door like at little 20 after 9. And it just, you just felt like this weight just went poof, and fell off your shoulders a little bit, which was really nice. I am so happy about that. That's just awesome. So that's one thing off my back, off the weight off of my shoulders. I'll probably sleep a lot better tonight. A house explosion in Pennsylvania. I didn't hear about that. Uh, so okay, Nancy, I saw your email. I got you because I've got it right here. We'll take care of that. And Let me know if you still wanted those paints. I'll just send them to you. I'll give them to you as a gift. But yeah, I don't know of a house explosion in Pennsylvania. I know Michigan had something explode, what, a week ago? Because I saw TikTok reels of the explosion, and man, it was huge. Pennsylvania. Crescent Township. Where on earth is that? Allegheny County. Oh, that's up near that's up in the Poconos. That's up that way. So yeah, no, that's not near me. What a shame. That kind of thing, a house blowing up that completely is usually gas leak. Man, there's just the basement left. Okay. I may let some of the new scouts mess with them with paintbrushes to make their patrol flag. Because our patrol flags have gotten kind of it got to the point where the men just would go buy a piece of white felt, which is only like, it's only 8 by 10. So our patrol flags have now become these tiny little things. Whereas, we used to give them a big piece of muslin and let them have at it with fabric markers and stuff. And they the patrol would have to design it first and then transfer it in, and or ask somebody that actually could draw a little better to transfer it on to the big flag. So so we need to change some things. I want to see the proper looking flags come back. So, but so Mike has, it's official. Mike is now going to be, he's the scoutmaster in training, as it were, but the current unit leader, scoutmaster, has so much going on, and he's going to be away a couple of times, one for family and one for work. So pretty much Mike's just running things now. So, he double checks with John about things, but for the most part, he's just taking care of it now and going forward with stuff. And there's a bunch of things that are gonna change, that are organizational, that are gonna kind of go back to some of the things that were there when he was raised. Because when he was in the troop and we joined, every kid had a binder, especially if you were a patrol leader. And we want to at least bring back the patrol leader ones. I have tried in the past, see about getting that back, but none of the men were interested. Because if you get the kids used to the idea, you have this binder or your handbook that you have to bring to every meeting, then that's the first step to responsibility. Most of these kids coming in the door are 11 years old and they haven't had to be responsible for anything. You've got to give them that first little thing. And, a binder, if you're the patrol leader, it has all the emails and phone numbers for your patrol, has the scoutmaster's emails and phone numbers. It has all the copies of the advancement sheets of where your patrol is, because as patrol leader, it's your job to also keep encouraging them to get done what they need to get done so they can advance, especially through those lower ranks. This is why I'm going insane this year, because we haven't had stuff like that. We've also had, in the last 13 or 14 months, we've had 8 or 9, 8, I think, 14-year-old kids join at the age of 13 or 14. And so now you can't do it by patrol because of their age. They all got put in one patrol, but half that patrol is already through all the ranks, and they're all the lower ranks, and they're working on merit badge stuff. So they're kind of like, you didn't want them to fall by the wayside, but they absolutely were, because it just didn't work to have it be done by patrol, the advancement stuff. So we had to do it by rank. So all the kids working on tenderfoot, you're over here. All the kids working on second class, you're over here. And then you just kind of work your way up and through. But we've gotten to the point now where I've got a bunch of kids sitting on second and first class stuff that they only have a tiny bit to do in each one, but it's the stuff they've known about for months that they need to bring in from home. And I don't have patrol leaders helping me with that. A couple of them are patrol leaders. We're too short on assistant scoutmasters. We don't have enough for the amount of kids we have. Every patrol should have an assistant scoutmaster that moves up with them, but we just haven't had that. We will next year, I think. I still may end up with a patrol next year. This year, I kind of have my fingers in every patrol, except the brand new crossovers who came in last week, and then another one's coming next week. So it's been so much crazier. I am spending about 4 hours a day right now answering emails from scouts emailing me requirements, or parents emailing me questions, or trying to figure out the service time event for this weekend. But this weekend, there's also a merit badge college north of Philadelphia that some of the kids are going to go to that. And then I had parents that go, well, he needs this and he needs it. Which one does he need more? And I'm like, service. One kid, I was like, no. He has to be at service time or he can't advance. He doesn't have enough service hours. And she's like, oh, but merit badges. I was like, he has time. Is he going to summer camp? Yes. Okay. He has time for merit badges. That's not a problem. I get it. You're nervous. Your kid's 14 and he wants to make Eagle. But right now, merit badges is not the problem. The problem is he needs to be first class by the end of the month. He's got to have that service time. And while you're on the phone, has he done X, Y, and Z? And she went, he didn't hand that in? I'm like, no. So somebody's in trouble today. But yeah, it's just been, I've never had this job take up so much of my time, except when I get all of their requests for what merit badge they want for summer camp. That will take up a day, because especially when we used to take 50 kids to camp, but we have 30, well, counting the new crossovers, I think we're up to 36, 37. But 30 kids are going to summer camp. 30. That's a lot going to camp. We haven't had that many go to camp in a long while. And so what happens is they have the schedule and what the list of offered classes are, and they will have to pick. 2 of them must be Eagle required. From the looks at this camp, it doesn't look like they'll have a chance to do 5 or 6 merit badges. Some kids like that. They don't want to waste the whole afternoon with nothing to do. But the way this one's set up, everything's in the morning. So you're only getting, depending on what they are, because most Eagle required ones take a lot of time. So instead of having 1 block of time, it covers 2 blocks of time. And there's only 4 blocks in the morning. And then lunch. And then after lunch, there's siesta, which is an hour, maybe like an hour and 15 minutes to give you time to work on merit badge stuff that you need to do on your own and then take back. And then you would normally have 2 to 3 blocks, usually 3 in the afternoon of merit badge choices. Not this time. This camp there's all of 5 merit badges in the afternoon in that first block. That's it. That's it. Then they have nothing to do other than whatever they camp has going on. But you have open swim, but you have that for the entire camp. You can't tell me you're going to fit 300 kids or more into that pool for open swim. So this is going to be interesting. We don't tend to go to the camps that are very big and very crowded because of things like that. But this is our council camp, and so we kind of pushed it that we should every 4th year we should go to our council camp. And I don't I there aren't too many kids in the troop right now that have been to that camp. When we first went back after the lockdown, that was where we went. That was when we had the bear that was in the campsite below us. And we found out later that I probably smacked a bear in the head the very first night, not knowing. I thought it was a raccoon, but I should have known better. Something kept making huffing, sniffing noises at the side of my tent, right by my head, right? And the tent's moving a little bit. So I smacked the canvas tent. I'm like, go away. And I don't hear anything. And then I hear this sniffing come back. And the tent's moving again. And so I smacked again. I'm like, get out of here. And my hand connected with something through that canvas. And it left. And I didn't think anything of it until later the next afternoon when they told me, yeah, there is a young bear. It's one that was born last year, and now, the mom's got new cubs, so she chases them away. And he keeps coming back across the river because he was born when there were no people around, so he doesn't know. So just tell the ranger if you see him, and they'll come shoot off a couple of shotgun shells into the air and scare him back across the river. And that's when I realized that raccoons don't make that kind of sniffing noise. Oh, I think I smacked a bear in the head last night. We didn't tell the boys, not at all, because we didn't want to scare them. But yeah, Miss Krause smacked a bear in the head. I wasn't quite sure how to. I can laugh about it now, but I really wasn't sure how to feel about it that week. But there won't be any bears this time because it's been open as a summer camp all summer. Well, not all summer, but for the summer season ever since. So now all the wildlife will be used to the fact that it's very noisy and there's lots of boys running around, and they won't be coming around. It was the only time they've ever really had a problem with them up there was that one year. So I don't anticipate having to knock a bear in the head again. I don't anticipate that being a problem. But I'm not a fan of this all afternoon open thing. They better have a lot of activities open, because this camp usually has anywhere between 300 and 500 kids each week. And they have so many kids coming that they had paid a lot of money to build a dining hall that could hold, I think, 200 scouts. And when we went, you had COVID restrictions, so everybody had to be a certain distance away. That's fine. We ate outside in a tent. But they have so many kids coming through this camp, and it's so massive that a lot of the classes are 30 scouts each. It's like being at school. If you got a kid that doesn't quite understand something, they're not going to get any help with it. And for some things, that matters. I don't like that for first aid. When they're actually supposed to be practicing bandaging on each other, they really need to get that right. First aid is one you can't, pioneering's another one. To me, it's a safety thing. You can't have, but I noticed the pioneering one, they had enough sense to limit that. There's only 15 kids per class on that one, because that one, pioneering is building things out of logs and rope. You don't want a lot of kids at one time. It's too hard to keep a track of all of them and make sure everybody's safe. So we don't know yet if we are Schedule A or Schedule B for lunch and breakfast because they have so many kids coming that they've had to break it up. And so we'll see what happens. They'll get to vote the closing night on what summer camp they go to the following year, if they want to go back to there or if they want to go try a new place, because they have the privilege of being allowed to pick. Most troops can't do that. You get a discount when you go to your own council camp. And most troops don't have a Christmas tree lot like we do. They can't afford to not go to their council camp. Or if they do, it's the rarity. So it's a good thing for these guys. They get to experience different places. And different camps have different things. You know, you get to a point where, like, if you go vacation the same place every single year, sooner or later the kids get bored because they've done everything there is to do there. So, you know, then your teenagers get bored and they don't have anything to do. So that's another good reason for us to switch up where we go every so often, because there's usually something different. I know one of the places we've been is Akanikan, and they had horseback riding you could go do. Not every place has that. The older kids are already bemoaning the fact that Camp Barton was sold, because that was on Lake Cayuga, which is one of the Finger Lakes in New York, right outside of Ithaca. And you could do jet ski, and you could do small boat sailing on a huge lake. You could do water skiing. Who has this stuff? Nobody else I've been to has this stuff. I hear Camp Rodney has it, but Camp Rodney's down in, I think that's Maryland. That's along the Chesapeake Bay. So that may end up being where we end up. I'm not thrilled with the idea of Camp Rodney for me, because from what I understand, there's not so much tree cover for a pale-skinned, you know, mostly Irish and German girl. I'll burn to a crisp, but I'll go cross that bridge when I get to it. But it's just been so busy because we're also, not only am I trying to get all this advancement done, we're trying to prep for summer camp craziness of getting them to pick their merit badges, because then it all has to come back to me. I have to approve it. Oh wow, you found 2 pink shades? Did you find a nice lavender for me yet? I'm still trying to find something that's I've been trying to find a red that's not like, some reds are like really, really deep blood red, and then if you get too light, they almost look fuchsia. But I'm still trying to find a nice red that's more, how do I explain it? Because the red I have right now, honest to God, looks like blood from a horror movie. There's got to be like a lighter kind of shade that's not quite pink. But yeah, for the most part, I was lavender. I was looking for. I've never found a lavender up here. It seems like that one's always gone. And I'm seeing some of the colors for Easter coming out in the stores, but I'm not finding a lavender. I have a deep purple that I really like. It's a metallic. I like that one. I use that one every Halloween, every October. But I don't have a lavender. I have a yellow. Um, uh, I have one pink that's like baby pink, but the bottle's down to like that much. Um, and I had wanted a lavender. I'm not a big fan of green, of light green, so I don't have any green nail polish. So I don't have any nice Irish Kelly green for St. Patrick's Day. That's the only other one I was hoping to someday find. So I'll find it eventually. I run out of allergy medicine, so you're gonna have to pardon me for having to blow my nose every so often. Things are we're when my brother pays my rent, every other month the rent's split in two. So I get paid beginning of the month and then whatever's the third Wednesday of the month. But then on alternate months, I don't know why he can't just keep it that way, but on alternate months, I only get one payment on the third Wednesday of the month. So it makes the beginning of the month a little bit tight. So next week I will buy allergy medicine because next week I'll have his rent. He's such a goofy guy. So he's doing okay. Still looks awful pale, but he's been doing a lot of running around lately. So his blood count is still not high enough, but it's sitting at 10, which is 1 point higher than what it was when they let him out. So that's something at least. I just found 2 trivia cards. Let's do some trivia questions just for fun. I haven't seen this movie in decades. What Beach Boys tune was used in the movie Shampoo? I vaguely remember that movie. Oh, I can't remember the name of the guy that was in that movie. He was such a womanizer. Carly Simon wrote a song about him. I can't think of his name either. I know this song though from the Beach Boys. That's one of my favorites. Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys. What was the second cut on side 1 of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band? I haven't listened to that album in so long, and my album's kind of scratched up because I've had it since I was like 10. Eleanor Rigby? Nope, darn. A little help from my friends. I thought it was Eleanor Rigby. I only found 2 of these, so we'll do one more. We'll see what other ones are on here. Hey, this is an old Dick Van Dyke Show question. I don't remember this. What organization was Laura Megan working for when she met Rob Petrie? Because Rob Petrie is Dick Van Dyke's name in the Dick Van Dyke Show. I have no idea. I only ever saw some of it in black and white reruns. And they didn't show black and white reruns for long on the UHF channels. After a while, they'd only take the color versions. So I have no idea. She worked for the USO. Oh, cool. Okay, here's another TV one. What song was the first TV show theme to reach #1 in the charts? If I had to guess, it's got to be Before the Saint. And it's got to be before the James Bond movies because it was from a TV show. I don't think it was Bonanza. No, it wouldn't have been Bonanza. I can't imagine Bonanza was on TV. I mean, on the top of the charts. I can think of so many that it wouldn't have been. And I'm sure they didn't play Gilligan's Island's theme song on the radio. The Rifleman, you think, maybe? One of the Westerns? Really? I can actually remember that song. I have no idea why, because I don't remember seeing the TV show. I must have been really young. Davy Crockett, the king of the wild frontier. Yeah, the Ballad of Davy Crockett. I don't know all the words, but now the tune is stuck in my head like an earworm. Oh, now I'm going to have that running through my head all night. No. Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember the song, and I can remember there's a picture during the opening, and he's like half behind a rock, and he's holding up the gun, and he's looking that way, and he's got that coonskin hat on. And I actually found in the Black Hole Challenge room a Davy Crockett, an official Davy Crockett raccoon skin hat. And I know it's in a box somewhere that came back from uh, Philly Flipper's warehouse. I know it's in one of those boxes, but I've got to get that. I've got to get that found. Yes, I am human. Let me in. Oh, look for the bumblebee and verify. Really? Oh, because I used CCleaner and it took out all of my passwords. The Kentucky Headhunters. Wow. Now there's a name. Really? I have do not disturb on my phone and you're going to make me. Sorry, guys. I got to get into my phone here. Turn the do not disturb off. Sign up initiated. Approve. Now, clear. There we go. There we go back. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. It wasn't going to let me into eBay. Davy Crockett hat. I'm curious now that I'm thinking about it. Where is sold? Well, depending on the size. Well, they're pretty much calling all of them Davy Crockett. Well, there's one that's an official one. That's $12. So it looks like it's about 12. That's all right. I got it for free. It was probably one of my brothers. Oh, wait a minute. Now, why is this one different? Oh, because you're not all. You're actually part beaver pelt. Well, duh. Of course, that one's going to be more money. Oh, hey guys, something sold. I didn't hear a ka-ching today. What sold? Oh, no wonder I didn't hear a ka-ching. It happened about 20 minutes ago, and I had do not disturb on my phone. Why is my phone turning off? What is it doing? There we go. Um. So Oh, okay. So one of my vintage postcards from Mannheim, PA has sold. Well, that's not bad. That's another little bit of money. Every little bit helps. So I'll pack that up, get that out tomorrow. It's I'm sliding off the chair because I know why, because I have this behind me. I'm half sitting on that. So I'm sorry I did not get a chance to have another sale. I was really hoping, but I was a wreck the next day. My one side hurt, the one hernia on the one side hurt. My back was just a mess. It just was bad. I spent a lot of the day getting up, puttering around, doing what I needed to do, and then going back and laying flat on top of the heating pad because I just couldn't function any bending at all, and my back was spasming after all that water. It was bad. It was bad. It was 5 o'clock in the morning before I went to sleep. Um, when Mike got home, I was in his room sleeping because his room's closer to the leak. So I knew that if it started raining again, I'd hear it. But he got home and saw me and then just went, yeah, no, why does my phone keep going dark? What are you doing? Uh-oh. Okay. Hopefully that brought me back. Let's see. I don't see me. I see a buffering, little weird buffering thing. Okay, there we go. Wow, the delay is serious. I don't know what that was. Let me put do not disturb back on. I don't know what just happened. My phone is charged to 100% because the phone's plugged in. But all of a sudden my phone went black and it just knocked me out of everything. I don't know what that was. I've never had that happen before. It's a glitch in the matrix. Yeah, because I still had this little beauty for St. Patrick's Day, so I'll have to carefully find a box and pack her away for next year. Oh, I didn't realize that. Look at the top of her hat. It's a shamrock. That's cute. I didn't realize that was up there. Get her little necklace around. Is she cute? She plays when Irish eyes are smiling. Collectible edition. Made in Korea. Ah, she's probably from the 70s then. Nope, Brins, 1989. Musical calendar miss. And she's the one for March. Isn't she cute? She's such a cutie. I was so surprised she didn't sell. But so I did find for next week's sale, I found a really nice piece of amber glass. It's about that big. But it looks like a giant cup because it's like that big around, but it's got a handle on the end. But I can't figure out who made it. For some reason I had Anchor Hocking written on the note, but everything I'm finding says L.E. Smith, But if you take a real close look at the pattern, it doesn't match. Does not match L.E. Smith, so it's not L.E. Smith. So I need to keep working on who on earth is this thing from, but that'll be in next week's sale. So there'll be a couple of nice pieces of glass next week. And whatever else. Oh, you know what? Hey, you want to find out what books you got me reading? Not many of you gave me any votes for what books to read of the 12, but enough of you did that there's actually 12 titles here. So the one with the most votes was Swiss Family Robinson, because that had 4 people. And then B was the Dickens. That was Our Mutual Friend by Charles Dickens. That had 2 votes. And then 5 was The Scarlet Letter. I haven't read that in a long time. So that was the next one. So after that was the David Attenborough, A Life on Our Planet. The Reenchantment of Everyday Life by Thomas More. In Full Flower, Aging Women, Power, and Sexuality by, who's that one by? Lois Banner. What is it? K-M-O. Sense of Shakespeare's Sonnets. I don't know how to pronounce this one. I might be mutilating it, but somebody picked the Piers Anthony, so I'm quite happy with that. It's spelled C-H-T-H-O-N. Chthon? So it sounds like it might be more of his science fiction fantasy, kind of. And then we had X, Rascal by Sterling North, and then The Letters and Sentences and Maxims of Lord Chesterfield. Now I'm going to add one to that because since it got the Sterling North one, Rascal, which I know had been on, I mean, not when I grew up, but I know that had been on school reading lists. But I have that second one by him, which Raccoons Are the Brightest People. Both are by Sterling North. One is his kind of autobiographical fiction of Rascal, and then the other one is nonfiction about raising raccoons. And that one's a first edition, and I have to double check, but I think my copy of Rascal might be a first edition as well. So once I read them, they will probably be going for sale. I have to look up and see what editions they are and value and all that. But that's not a bad list. It's a nice, I think I was missing one because I thought the one of the plays got in Shakespeare M. What was M? Yeah, M. I am missing one. The House of Blue Leaves and Other Plays by John Guare. So most of these will be leaving too once I read them. So that'll be good because I'll get a bunch of stuff off my bookshelf. So I'm quite happy. Thank you. It's kind of odd. Like there's so many books, and that's just what was sitting around in my own bedroom. So I got books of my own everywhere. So that'll be a good chunk. I think that might take me, let's see, it's the end of March. I still have to finish. Oh, I left it upstairs. Where are you? Are you not on here? No, not Google Drive. So I don't have Goodreads. Oh, there it is. What is it? It's not Toxic. Shoot. Now I can't remember the name of it. That's a different name. Let me find out. Because right now I'm working on 2 that I've been working on forever. Future Shock. I'm working on that one. And The Earth and Its Story, a first book of geology. I'm working on that one. My copy of that one, I could not find the only copy of that to put it in the Goodreads that I could find says it was published in 2015. Not my copy. Not my copy. My copy's the original hardback, which is like from 1920. So, um, that one's taken me a while because there's a lot of stuff to it there's a lot of words there I got to look up. I never had geology in school in science, so I'm learning a whole new vocabulary. So I have that one. I have those two that have been ongoing for a while now. So I'm really trying to work on getting Future Shock done. Then I have that other one. Because right now, those are the only two I have going. The Earth, the geology one never leaves the house because it is an old book, and I know I had already looked it up, and um, a lot of it's local to the Philadelphia, Schuylkill area. They talk about Granite Run, which at the time the book was written was a natural granite quarry. That's where the Granite Run Mall was eventually built. So, not a quarry anymore. It was interesting seeing a few pictures of that before it had been turned into a massive shopping center. Um, so it has stuff in the area that I thought was kind of cool. And but being that it's an early edition, if not a first, um, I did find comps for that one that go anywhere from $45 to $60. So I'm not letting that one leave the house. Whereas usually I always taking a book with me, especially if I'm not the driver. But every time I have a doctor's appointment or Gary has one, you sit and read in the waiting room. Get you a little bit of time. So, um, Future Shock, um, that was on a lot of college reading lists of books to be well rounded because it does talk. And it's funny, even though it was written quite a while ago, um, it's interesting to me because it was written in 1970 originally, and they were talking about the changes then in how people were getting more displaced. Jobs were more often send you to a different part of the company, and you'd have to move your family, your kids, and and that wasn't the norm back then. Normally you worked at a company, you stayed in one place, but as we got it bigger and bigger corporations that had more and more places around the country, you could get shipped out. And how that was kind of a shock because society was changing so quickly. And I'm only up to the part about the workforce, the 9 to 5 job, and companies. I haven't even gotten to the influence of television yet and the influence on schools. And so it's an interesting look at sociology of how things have changed. But in looking at what it talks about of the fragmentation of how it affects a family with the way jobs are, that it takes you away from that family network. Your parents, your siblings everybody could be in different states. And I look at it now. Now, keep in mind, this was a warning shot written in 1970. And you look at things now in the 2020s and you see how far that has come. Most people don't work for the same company more than 10 years. That's, I mean, I can remember my parents' generation where you worked your way up in a company and you stayed with it, and there was company loyalty because the company was loyal to you as well. But that's not the case anymore. There's no company loyalty because the companies aren't loyal to the workers, especially in big corporations. And most people, they only stay at a job for about 10 years because either the job moves them or the job downsizes them. Because a lot of big corporations are real quick to cut payroll first. And so they'll take out mid-level managers or the people who've been there the longest because they can get new hires that they don't have to pay as much or don't have to pay as much for the insurance for them because they're not older. And it was interesting to see all this talked about in this book because you can see it being done now all the time. It's now become the norm. So it's been an interesting eye-opener to read Future Shock. but it's one of those ones that was in that book of lists for um, first year lists for colleges. Because I've been reading through a lot of books like that that were on college reading lists because I had such a weird educational background, being that I was Christian schools, small Christian schools for 5 years, and there was a lot you were not allowed to read, and a lot you were completely sheltered from. So yeah, that was real fun. Real culture shock. Then going and spending junior and senior year in public school, and then getting into college and going, what do you mean they reference this and they reference that, and they're like, and I'm sitting there going, I have no idea what you're talking about, none whatsoever. So I now have my to-go reading list though, and I'll get all those read, and then that should get me maybe to summer camp. And we'll see, because like I said, some of those books aren't leaving the house, either because they're too old, too delicate, like the Swiss Family Robinson copy and the Scarlet Letter copy. Those have very delicate pages, both of them, especially the Scarlet Letter. They used rag paper. Rag paper gets extremely brittle with age. So those are not going to be bounced around in a car or me carrying it around a lot. I'm going to be real careful with those. Only read them where I'm sitting up in a chair here. I do that with some books just because of the fragility of the condition the book is in. But a lot of the other ones are ones I can carry around. So that's why another reason I usually have more than one book going is I have books that just I won't leave the house with. I don't take that geology book out of the house with me, but I have taken Future Shock out. And so I'm currently reading 3 because I could not resist temptation. So I took my last 2 library books back. I did it. I had to go in because I had the one a little too long, so I had to pay 75 cents in a fine because I had it a little too long. And they didn't renew it because somebody had put a hold on it. I didn't know that. I missed that. But anyway, so I go in, and then sitting on the cart of things to go away is the book of Pan's Labyrinth. Now, I know the Guillermo del Toro movie of Pan's Labyrinth. I didn't know there was a book. So I couldn't resist. So I have another library book that I picked up. So I have, you can't let me in a library. You cannot let me in a library, and you cannot let me in a used bookstore with money. You just can't. I'm a book addict. I just can't. So I have a library book still. I have Pan's Labyrinth, and I'll be getting that started soon. I wanted to knock out like at least 60 pages of Future Shock before I went into the library book. But once that's done, then I'll start with Swiss Family Robinson or Scarlet Letter. I'll start with one of those 2. And work my way down the list you guys gave me. So thank you for that. Those of you who did you have fun picking them out? Because who knows, maybe I'll do it again by the end of the summer or middle of the summer. By then I should be through all these. Some of these are thin books, some of them aren't. So we'll see how fast I get through them all. Like certain ones, I mean, the fiction ones on this list are going to be fast, easy reads. But then there's ones like the Shakespeare sonnets, is this thin little thing. That won't take long. And the letters, sentences, and maxims of Lord Chesterfield probably won't take long. But, books like that, I might find stuff in that one I can use as Scoutmaster minutes. Because in Boy Scouts, the end of every meeting, there's a Scoutmaster minute. They're never really just 1 minute long. But you go up and you go for 1 to 3 minutes, and you want to give them something short to think about for the weekend. And I'm pretty good at pulling a rabbit out of my hat. We'll use that term. And sometimes I haven't had one in my head, but I've walked up and I go, okay, guys, give me a word, give me a topic, and I'll do something on that. I'm good doing that. I can improv right off the cuff like that. But sometimes you want to go in with better ideas than that. There have been times I've walked in and I've had a quote written on a piece of paper, and I've pulled it out and I would read the quote, and then I'd go in and go, okay, what do you think that means? Because here's what I think that means. And, so they like when they get me. I'm not reading a standard one that I've pulled off the internet that somebody else wrote. I like finding my own. I've had them come back after all the years of doing it. I've had quite a few scouts come back and say that I've given them stuff to think about over the years, because some of them just really, it hits the right mark with some kids. It hits a bullseye somewhere in their brain. Not all of them, and it just depends on the kid, depends on what it is and the timing. Sometimes you're just planting a seed in their head that, you just put it in there and then you wait, and they'll keep thinking about it. And then eventually they'll come talk to you about it. So you just let it grow and you leave it alone until they're ready. So that's, because their brains are still growing. The kid who joins at 11 is not the same kid at 14, because there's a chunk of their brain that has grown. And from 14 to 18, there's another chunk of brain that has grown. And then from 18 to 24, well, that big chunk of the brain is the part that has the judgment skills in it and the ability to really think ahead to logical conclusions. So that part is the last part of the brain that grows, but it does it in your 20s. So again, that is so far away in growth and thought from the 11-year-old that walked through the door. So sometimes you just plant stuff in there for them to figure out later. That's what I like using Scoutmaster minutes for. So turn that off. So we have 13 here tonight. Thank you for coming and for watching. And for those of you who catch the replay, thank you for watching that. That's always very helpful. And there's something else. I should have made notes, because I was working on scout stuff today. I was like, oh, I wanted to talk about that. I get these thoughts, and then I'll remember it 2 days from now. I should write it down. I have a notepad by the side of the bed to write things down, though lately it's all been scout stuff. So, but I have a lot of packing to do. I have one thing you guys didn't see in the sale, because I kind of decided to hang. I don't think I showed it to you in the sale. I kind of decided to hang on to it for a while. It was about making eggs out of real eggs. And my mom and I used to do this. That's the kind we used to make. And I have a few. I mean, I remember being little when she did those. I wonder if this was the book she got her ideas from. So I may hang on to this one for a while. I could have some fun making some of those. It has a little damage on the back, but I don't mind. Some point I'll find them, because they're in a box in the attic, in with my holiday stuff. They're in an old Tupperware container, very carefully packed, because they are eggshells after all. So at some point, someday, you guys will see them. We are so far away from getting into that attic again. Though I have just definitely decided that When I get the stuff to go to Briggs Auction House, because they want 10 lots, so it has to be a minimum of 10 boxes. One of those boxes is going to be the old toy chest. It's in one of the videos. You can just see one end of it, because right now it's just laying across a bunch of boxes. But it's an old Disney one from sometime in the early 50s. And it has a lithograph all around the bottom of it of bricks and the three little pigs and the big bad wolf. Now, I'm missing, there's a shelf, and then there should have been little doors up there. I don't have those. And the bottom part would have closed with two green chalkboards, and I should have one of those still around. But I have never found this thing anywhere to be able to get a price of what it might be worth. But it does have a date on it. It does have the Walt Disney Company. So I'm going to send that to them because we're not going to keep it. So I'm going to send it to the auction house. And let's see. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, because you don't find anything like that under Toy Box. Maybe under chest? Because the images are from the Three Little Pigs. It used to be like one of their early little shorts. And they've changed slightly over the years in how they look. And these are the early drawings. I'm seeing a lot of books, but not a toy chest. Yeah, I've never even searched, not even just searching eBay, but searching the internet in itself. I've never found one. So I've kept it on my list on eBay to get an email if one should pop up, and I never do. And I've never found it just even as a search on the internet. So I don't know what the value is going to be, but I'm not shipping that thing. It's huge. So I'm not going to try. I'm not even going to try to ship that sucker. So let them deal with it. Let them just deal with it. They can do it. Just for giggles. Let's see if I could find one if I search images. Nope. That's using the word box. Chest. Let's try chest. That's creepy. Ooh, there's a giant plastic pig whose top of his head comes off. No. That's so creepy. Yeah, see, I'm finding stuff, but they're not old enough. They're not anything like this. These are all modern ones. Why are you showing me one for Frozen? But yeah, nope, no such luck. So that puts me a little closer, because that means now I have a box of glass bottles, half full. I have a box of cookbooks started. You guys can see the cookbooks first. So these are ones that didn't sell with you guys. So I started making a cookbook box because I've been watching their auctions for months. That seems to do well, a generic cookbook box. So that's 2 started. And I'll probably start another one of just generic old books. And then And then I have to figure it out from there. And then the Disney toy chest. So that's 4. 6 more to go. 6 more to figure out. We'll get there. I just got to live through. I just got to live through this month and next for Scouts, because it's just so crazy and busy. Because too, once we still have to have our Order of the Arrow elections. We have to have our next senior patrol elections. We've got to have merit badge choice night. We still got to get this advancement stuff done. We only have 2 meetings left to get it done. One of them is during spring break, and all the men keep going, well, you're not going to have anybody here. And I'm like, I will be here. Any kid that wants to work on advancement, I will be here. The door will be open. I don't care if I'm the only one here. I will be here. If they can, because you can't tell me that every single family disappears for a week on vacation that week. So I will be there at the end of this month for that. And then trying to get through the border reviews and the Court of Honor, that takes up all of April. So just got another month and a half. Another month and a half of absolute crazy with Scouts. And the merit badge stuff we have to have ready by April 6th, because that's when it goes live for us to be able to put it in for that, to register all the kids into what classes they want. And you got to do that right away, because some of the classes are limited to only 15 people. How this is going to work. But you know, so we gotta get it in quick. Get it in there quick. So Stacy May, I haven't stopped in on any of your work days. Sometimes you have the video running while you're working on stuff. I haven't stopped in a while. So we're getting there. We got plans going. Cats are doing fine. I got to go pester. I'm going to have to go pester Forgotten Cats about getting Charlie. Because I tried a cat rescue that's up closer to 95 a bit, up closer to Philly, and they are very small, and they don't have anybody that could foster him while he recovers. Because when they do stuff, clean that wound, there is a big open spot like this where there's no fur, there's no top layer of skin. And they tried, but they just don't have anybody who could foster him, because he's going to need to be with somebody who can change the bandages on his neck. He's going to have to be fostered with somebody, and I can't bring him into the house here. Between the dust of all this stuff, the dampness, and I'm sure wood mold from the leak up on the 2nd floor, and 6 cats in this house already, my allergies are killing me. And I'm allergic to leaf mold, and we're going into spring where it's going to rain, and you get, I mean, we still have a lot of leaves in our backyard. The house 2 doors over never got them all out in time there either. So theirs is full of leaves. So, and I'm a scoutmaster and I go walk through the woods. So every time it rains and is warm, there's leaf mold bloom in the air. And so spring and fall, my allergies are just a nightmare. And that's why I have a neti pot. That only does so much. It helps, but it only does so much. So I'll be sneezing a lot and blowing my nose a lot, but I cannot bring another cat into this house. And besides, the house is too stuffed. He could end up hiding somewhere on me. I don't have a way to isolate him right now the way I did the kittens, because since the kittens, I've moved all that stuff back in from Philly Flipper's warehouse. So now the playroom is completely stuffed full of boxes. So yeah, no. He's got to have somebody who can isolate him in a room, let him heal. If he doesn't respond well to them, because I can pet him, I can even put medicine on his neck, which is the only reason he's not been massively infected is because I have an antibiotic cream safe for cats. And he's had some swelling around the outside where you could tell it was infected. But he'll let me he jumps a little and he pulls away, but he doesn't try to bite, he doesn't scratch, he doesn't hiss, he'll let me put medicine on. So it's going to take some getting used to somebody else for him, but it can be done. So I just need to find the right place where they have somebody who can do that for him. If after that they can't find somebody to adopt him, they'll ask me would I still keep feeding him would they return him to me, which means he would still live outside. Not the ideal option, but I get it. There's a lot of cats in my area, and you can't necessarily save all of them, but you try. The heck am I hearing? I better go check on the little juvenile delinquents. They're in the basement. Give me a second. The hell am I hearing? Okay. Okay. I couldn't imagine what I was hearing, but I knew I could hear a motor running, and I thought, well, did the cats somehow turn on the shop vac in the basement? And I thought, oh, maybe they turned on. Mike has an air mattress, and his bag is still up there in his room, and one of them accidentally hit the button a couple days ago and turned on the pump, battery operated pump for the air mattress. So I thought maybe it was that, but then I thought, no, it's not coming from above me. It's that way somewhere. Well, my brother Gary is vacuuming his room. At 11:32 at night, he's vacuuming his room. He has good reason to, though. Um, oh my goodness. He he has a special powder to put around where he has Crohn's disease, and he does have a bag, an ostomy bag, and the powder, he dropped it, and it hit the lid part cracked. There's powder all over the floor. So he's vacuuming it up. So I couldn't imagine, though, what was I hearing? And what did these cats do? Because they'd done it to the thing upstairs before. But no, it was Gary this time. That's okay. It's all good. Everything's fine. And I think they're now all up out of the basement. Hi, Aragorn. Hi. Or are you Arwen? I can't tell the twins apart. Hi. What's the matter? Come here. Go come say hello. Come here. Hi. Hello. This is the little girl. Oh, she's going to run. No? All right. She does not like to be held. Not at all. Okay, so if you came up, then that means Aragorn didn't, which means he's probably sitting there in the basement on top of my basket full of clean laundry, sleeping on it. Yeah. He'll do that. He'll go down there, he'll play with his brothers, and then he gets tired, so he just goes to bed and he'll go to sleep. And he sleeps. When he's out, he's out cold. You can pick him up sometimes. And I have picked him up, held him on his back, and just held him like a baby and just looked at him. And then all of a sudden there'll be this big yawn and the eyes will open up and he'll look around like, where am I? But sometimes he'll be so deep asleep you can pick him up and he won't wake up. But unless I see her from the front, there's a little tiny, about the size of a quarter, white spot on her chest. But otherwise, they look exactly alike. You can tell when you pick them up. He's heavier than she is. He's more muscle. But other than the fact that her tail is fluffier and rounder, you got nothing to go by. They're exactly the same shading, even to where there's a dark patch on one hip. Exactly the same spot. Now, looking at him face on, her eyes are rounder and his nose is a little bit pointier. But that's hard to tell. If she doesn't open her eyes all the way up, she looks just like him. And there's no light in that back hallway anymore. So all I see is just kind of a shadow going by. What? And you got to sit and stare at me now. Go find Daddy. He's asleep. Go sleep with Daddy. You have a spot in his room. She does. She has a spot. She has a spot. And if anybody else is in her spot, woe to them, because she will knock them in the head until they move. She has a spot in his room on a little side chair near the window. She sleeps on that usually. Michael's the one who started that. I'm mommy, he's daddy. I had wanted to get a shirt for him for Christmas, and I ended up getting him one that was a Pokemon shirt instead. That was all of the evolutions of Eevee, because the other shirt would have cost a lot more, because it would have been personalized. And I never thought I'd be the sexy cat daddy, but here I am. And you can put up to 8 cat heads on it with their names. And they have an assortment. You can have a black cat, you have a gray cat, you can have a striped cat. They even have an Elrond. They even have a little Siamese head, a little white head, a little red head. So they have several things where you could tell. They even have one that has one of those ones that look like an Egyptian mummy that has no fur. So you can get it personalized with the right look for certain breeds. But to do that and have the 5 kittens' name on it, because he's well aware of the fact he is not dad to the doctor. The doctor could care less. As long as she knows where I'm at, she don't care about these men in this house. I am very much her mother. But the kittens, they're all him. Sphinx, yes, thank you. I could not think of the name, but all I could think of is the big bat ears and no fur. To me, they're creepy looking. Not a fan of those. I hear they're very sweet, but I am not a fan of those. But yeah, it added like $8 or $10 for every cat face you put on it. And I'm like, well, there's 5 of these kittens. This is getting to be too expensive. It would have been so cool though. Maybe for his birthday in August, because he'll be 30. He'll be 30 in August. And I'll be 59. Yeah, I guess I'm getting to the point where I gotta stop saying it's the so many anniversary of my 40th birthday. Maybe I should just start saying I'm in the vicinity of 60. In that vicinity. I can use that for a couple of years. I'm in the vicinity somewhere. I could use that one for a couple of years. Yeah, I think that's what I'll start doing. I'm in the vicinity of 60. Where the hell does the time go? But, oh my goodness. So I'm looking around at all these piles of stuff and I'm like, if I touch some things, I can't pull stuff out because I might cause an avalanche. I've gotten myself claustrophobic back here again. Not a good thing. My own fault. Not getting the stuff in a timely manner. A lot of that, though, is the spine. I mean, it took me having to do that leak and empty a bucket at a time. By the time, because even after the rain stops, the leak doesn't. There are still drips. So while the rain had stopped, the heaviest rain had stopped not long after I stopped the video, but there still was rain. So I emptied it 3 times before I went to bed. You guys were there for the first time and a half because it was coming in so fast that as soon as I was emptying it was just coming right back in and filling up. But I lost the entire next day because of what it did to my spine and to the one hernia under the rib cage. And I realized something this past week is that I only lost 1 day. You guys have stuck with me since I got hurt in 2021, where I had whole weeks where I couldn't move, where I couldn't even come up and down the stairs because I couldn't get back up them, or even coming down them jarred everything so much. I'd come down just to go to the doctor's office. And then it would take me a good 20 minutes to be able to get back up 14 steps to the second floor. So I've come so far, and that's great. But every time there's been a backlog of things that I haven't gotten done, including stuff for you guys, I've lost so much time in the intervening 3 years because it was in April of 2021 when I had the accident that hurt my spine. And as we're getting up to April, I've been thinking about that a little bit, and I'm not, and I may never be 100% healed back to what I was. And it's been a rough road to get here, but I am so grateful because I've gotten here. I've gotten this far. I still can't turn more than this. If I try to force myself to turn any further, I'll get a Charlie horse in the right leg, and I'll get pain shooting up the rib cage, up the back, because of that one nerve that's still pinched and still being damaged. So I may never get that back, but I've gotten so much back because I can do this, and I don't have that problem anymore. It got released from the traction therapy. And that was the side that had me bent over at a right angle that I couldn't sit up straight. So I'm so thankful that you guys have stuck with me, that I have come so far. And I've got a lot of optimism of this year being better because so much stuff has been better, knock on wood, so far this year. Some things are still difficult and some things are still tough, and I've got a lot to catch up on in so many ways. But I realized that even just from last fall, because last fall I had the foot screwed up. It wasn't my back. It wasn't my back that kept me stuck upstairs and not being able to have sales and not being able to do eBay and make any money, which that's led to other problems, but it wasn't my back. And now I'm back on my feet. I got it. I mean, I spend an hour now every morning. Sometimes if it's really stiff, an hour and a half between the stretches for the spine, the strengthen the hip and everything on the left side, and then the exercises for my feet so that I don't end up with fasciitis again. I mean, I may spend the first hour and a half in the mornings never leaving my room because I'm still trying to get everything to be not stiff. But once it's not, as long as I make sure I sit up straight, I'm doing really well. And I'm grateful because that's so much better than things were all through the last quarter of last year. So I actually feel better, and I feel like I have some optimism that going forward in this year. I'm busier now than I ever have been for Scouts, and that's become a juggling act because like this afternoon, I thought I would be working on stuff for you guys, and I ended up doing email after email, and phone calls came in, and the service time I've been pestering going, didn't your kid do anything with church? How about with school? You know, it doesn't just have to be through the Scout troop, and I've been getting emails about that, so I'll get that entered into the system, and I've ended up taking the entire afternoon doing that. So I didn't get to you guys, which annoys me, but it's still stuff that has an end date. And so I'm like, okay, if I could just get through that, that's fine. Saturday, I have to be at Chester Park. Saturday night, Mike and I have tickets for a show. But tomorrow, knock on wood, tomorrow I am giving myself a set thing, is that at noon, the Scout door closes so that I can just work on you guys. I did get into the front room and get a hold of some stuff that had been up there the longest. Plus I've got stuff here, and I know, Nancy, you have your book. I'll get you invoiced for that. But I'm going to make a point of, I will not be looking at that email. I did enough of it today. And I heard, I think, from all but 2 parents that their kids are going up north of, they're driving like the 40s. I mean, it's almost an hour's drive to get up to this merit badge college. There's only 2 kids whose parents I didn't hear anything from. Oh God, what I won't. And there's 3 kids that, I know there's more than 3 kids coming to this cleanup on Saturday, but there's 3 kids that wanted to come, and they all 3 had the same question. Which do they need to be at more? The merit badge college or the cleanup? Well, one of them has his service time in. He's done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of stuff from the Cub Packs. He's done a lot of stuff through his church. He's fine. I told his mom, go ahead, take him to the merit badge college. That's fine. The other 2, though, we had to have a tough conversation because one parent was not happy, so she called me. And I said, now look, first off, even when he makes first class, he can't become star rank, no matter how many merit badges he has, until 4 months have passed. So no matter what you tell me, this isn't going to matter. He needs the service time or he can't become first class. And if he's planning on being in the high adventure trip after summer camp, he can't be on that if he's not first class. So your kid needs to finish this stuff and bring it in. I need to have this by the end of the month. And he's known that. It's on the postcard you got sent. And she said, oh yeah, we have the postcard on the refrigerator. I said, have you ever checked with him about how much of that stuff he's actually finished? Oh, well, no. Yeah, well, let me tell you, here's this, 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 and this. And once I got her calmed down, she wasn't mad at me anymore, but she was sure annoyed at her kid because they got those postcards before Christmas and then got reminded about them every month since, because all the postcards had was the stuff we can't do at a meeting. It's all the stuff they have to do at home and bring in. And some of them, that's the problem. They haven't done it. So that was a long phone call. We were on the phone for better part of an hour. Because first I had to let her get her to stop talking long enough for me to get a word in edgewise. So I am determined that tomorrow I should be good to just, I have some stuff that came in tonight from other ASMs that I have to enter into Scout Book. And once that's done, then I should be done by noon. And then I can just work on you guys. God, yes. That's the plan. That's the plan. And I'm determined to stick to it so that we can, this will have to go upstairs with me because that's the reading list. Because I need to get this stuff out of here. I need to get my corner back. Got some empty boxes too I need to get out of here because I got an empty tub up there. Maybe I could put the right now, like any holiday stuff I have, I've been shoving into the tub that had been Christmas stuff that still has some Christmas in the bottom. But going forward, as I find Christmas stuff, that's going to go into that tub. So maybe I should use this little smaller plastic one, and I'll use that for the leftover St. Patrick's Day stuff and any leftover Easter stuff, which I'll include again in next week's sale. The little bit of Easter stuff that did not sell yet, I will put into next week's sale and see about moving that along. But anything left over after that, I will pack away into that, because that would give me something smaller. And then, because I know, because I didn't have a Christmas sale, I know I've got half a box of stuff I've got to tuck in to that bin. What's the other bin? Oh, the other bin is all stuff that's got to get done for Etsy. So that is the plan, though. But next week I'll have the Easter stuff. I have one or two things to add to that. I found another bunny. So I'll have some Easter stuff and glass, vintage glass. And some ephemera. Basically all the stuff that I started to put together for the last sale that was supposed to happen on Thursday that didn't, and then was going to be on Sunday but didn't. So it'll be the usual eclectic mix. Oh, don't do that. Can't do that. Like tilt forward leaning on the desk, then that pinches that hernia, because it's just gotten bigger, and it's gotten to the point now where the rib cage hits it like every time I bend forward. So that's not good. But so I'm gonna go. I hear scratching at the cellar door, so somebody didn't come up out of the basement and they want to now. And I'm gonna let you guys go, and let's see who is on. Is anybody live? What's he doing? It says he's live, but he's not. Second Sense Incorporated, Cleveland auction house. I don't know who he is. I really know who he is. I know I'm subscribed, but I don't think I've watched his stuff in a long time. So he's the only one of my subscriptions that's live. Comic Art Live. Don't know that one either. Enchanted Forest Mushrooms Ambiance. Mushrooms don't make any noise, so how can you have a video of that? Have you ever done that? It's just go to the main page of YouTube, and then you have all those little buttons across the top. And in mine, they say all, or they say antiques, eBay, live, dumpster diving, music, crochet, not sure why, Dollar Tree, bags, gaming, reading, scrapbooking. They'll change based on the type of videos you watch a lot of, because on my personal YouTube, it has things like politics or gaming, or comedy, and got all kinds of different buttons. But live is always up there, and you just go into live and you just see what comes up. Sometimes I found some interesting stuff. Other times it's just all relaxing music or meditation, and there's some strange stuff on overnight sometimes. So I'm going to go, and it's been lovely chatting with you guys. And I'm sorry I didn't get to go live other than during the rain. And I will see you guys Thursday night. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay dry, and there's something else I was gonna say, but I can't remember what. But stay safe, stay dry, and may your weekend be whatever goal you have for the weekend, may you achieve it. How's that for an end? We'll give that one a try. If you like what you see, by all means, like, subscribe. Links are usually in the description for the eBay store, the Etsy store, the Buy Me a Coffee, the all kinds of stuff. And of course, now I've got to sneeze again. Oh, no, I don't want to sneeze right away. So have a good night, everybody. And I will see you next Thursday night at 10 p.m. start for a live sale. And don't forget that usually before me is Sugar Britches Sweet Ass Stuff, which she usually has a live sale before me. Usually it's her book sale on Thursday nights. So check her out too. And Flippin' Crazy Lisa should be having a jewelry sale sometime on Sunday. She might have a pop-up one this weekend, but it's Flippin' Crazy. Doesn't have the G on the end of flipping. It's Flippin'. And her cat, Mouse, had to have surgery. So I know she would greatly appreciate any moral support showing up at her sales and giving her some watch hours. So thank you very much for coming to mine, and I'll see you soon. Bye.